Hello, everybody! Happy Sunday from Level Up Circle TV. Welcome to our channel. This is Sunday, 7 p.m. That means it is a lecture time. And you're like, I don't want to have lectures. Listen, you're right, that I'm a teacher. I can't help myself. Besides, it's part of my mission to level up the world through education. You will learn something. It's not a theory or it's not anything else. And if there is a theory, I'll give you some actionable steps. If you know, who the heck are you to tell me you're going to lecture? Listen, I've been doing it for over a decade. I've had 13,000 students. I teach from 5-year-olds, actually 4-year-old is my youngest student, all the way to 78-year-old. And I don't do boring in my class. I've been a dean to multiple universities, both online and, of course, on ground. And I have been directors, banking, you name it, right, in terms of experience and, of course, education. So I want to level up the world through education because I believe that equality could be about information that you might not get, and educational system right now is quite expensive. So I'm going to share what I usually do for my students just a little bit when it comes to business owners. So today we're going to do ed ego and the super ego in a minute, and I'm going to bring in my sister Susanna after that. But first, I want to make a couple of announcements. Okay, guys, Beyond Boundaries, Thriving in Life's Gray Zone is consisting of 27 soul hearted. We're moving on to come heart centered. We're moving on. We are going to soul hearted. And if that catch up on LinkedIn, you know who started it. Okay. Hashtag soul hearted, because we are giving a piece of us, our soul, our energy, and coupled with our hearts. These amazing souls, right? Beyond Boundaries gave Susanna and I the piece of history that they have put inside them to share to the world. They entrusted us of what is yet to come in the future. Some of them are super nervous to share. Some of them are so excited to share. Doesn't matter how you're feeling. What matters is you are living a legacy, not just for your family, but for everyone else who needs to get inspired. And this, I'm so excited. This anthology, the only anthology out of 4 or 5 anthologies that I've been in, is going to be at your major retail store like Barnes and Nobles. And I'm going to gather a couple of our authors that are going to sunny San Diego, right? They're coming to San Diego to visit us to do a book signing, and that is going to be in June 29th at 1 p.m. at Barnes and Nobles in Escondido, California. The address is 810 West Valley Parkway, Escondido. Here's the thing. If you are planning to come and get a book signing with us, you have to order the book ahead of time. They're not going to have enough books for you in there, okay? So this right here at the bottom, you see that bottom right there, that is a QR code to order or pre-order your book so we can sign it for you. We're going to have between 4 to 6 people. Some of them are still not confirming 100%, but solid. So Santa Dawn, Danielle Manawis, Jacqueline, Harsha, Kinga, and myself are coming. And I'm hoping Crystal Bay is able to come, but she's planning to. So at least 6 of us are coming. We're going to have a giveaway for those who's coming to see us. We're going to have a giveaway every hour. We're going to try to live stream it if they're going to let us, okay? And I guarantee you it's going to be full of fun. So that is what we're doing with our anthology. The only way to do anthology is to level up, not level down, right? So when you do anthology, make sure that you're not just stuck on Amazon. It is good. Self-publishing is great. Amazon is wonderful. But if you really want to level up, let's go to other bookstores because that's limited, right? Some of our friends who are in Africa, who are in other country in Afghanistan, they couldn't buy our book because it was limited to only 13 countries that Amazon sells. So what does CJ do? Level you up, right? So that is what we are doing. Now, I also wanted to invite you on the 50 inspirational connections on LinkedIn. Go ahead and QR code apply, because that is literally giving you a chance to be visible for free. Publicity, PR, brand awareness, it is expensive. But I love my community because we love soul hearted individuals. And that is why we are doing that. Last year was a success, but I did so much work on editing, putting it together. I needed more than just one person. I need thought leaders. I need inspirational leaders. I need amazing leaders who are soul hearted. And that is why I have enlisted my sisters to do it with me and my brother Annie. So thank you. Apply. You still have time. And let's see what we can do. We're going to have awards night. We're going to have live streams on this one. So it's going to be so much fun. And some of them are also going to be pre recorded to show off the amazing individuals that you're going to see. So go ahead and scan that QR code to apply if you haven't. If you are thinking of applying, please do and see from there. And as far as qualifiers, because someone was asking me today, the qualifiers is for me to watch you that you are doing something actively on your socials, especially on LinkedIn, because it is about LinkedIn, right? And basically making sure that you're inspiring your community. Okay. And look at this. Moving Beyond Boxes, number one international best-selling book. That's right. This is on our Kindle, but our physical book is coming in 2 weeks. Can't you guys feel the vibe, the energy? We are what? Susanna and I are explosive together because we want to help as many souls as possible. Not just, okay? You won't find any anthology that has built in publicity than ours. So amazing souls. Sharon, April, D, Jacqueline, Danielle, Ozzy, hello. Crystal, Jason, Dr. Bo, Sindel, and Dr. New. And the leader on this book is Miss Susanna Dunn, my glitter sister. Yes, I'm talking about Sana, not Dr. Noopy. I know Dr. Noopy is the queen of glitter, okay? I get it. Another thing is, next month, actually, I'm going to push this Level Up Circle magazine because there's so much going on in June. But next month in July, we're going to have the Level Up Circle magazine, okay? But I'm still looking. I'm only going to need 10 individuals, thought leaders. And I'm probably going to, in terms of publicity, I'm going to actually give you guys a birthday flash sale. So look for the first 2 weeks of July for this flash sale happening. I might give it to you guys for 50% off because of my birthday. I want to give back to my community for my birthday. Okay. And so that is what we're doing. So go ahead and click on that on your save it on your phone or on your laptop, and make sure, right, that you can be on that Level Up Circle magazine. If you are in the United States, I can actually get you a physical copy of that magazine. Otherwise, everything is also online, right? And then guess what, guys? Our book club is up and running, but we need more information for you. So it's starting July. Susanna, Donna, and I decided that we're going to give back to our community further by providing you guys a book club. That means at the end of this book club, you will have an anthology. We will have a theme. We will vote every single month. Every single week, actually, you'll have a class, or at least not a week, but we're going to put the class in the classroom in there for you to take. And then we have a meeting, right, once a month to basically gather all of our students to talk about the topic for that month. And then next month, we're going to have another class that's put out. Every single month is a different course so that you are what? You are what? Set up for success. Some of you guys have been writing 2 anthologies now and you still don't have any clue how to get those authors page. That is part of our class. We're going to teach you how to do it, right? So you can be independent. If you don't start with us in July, you would have to catch up. Meaning, let's say that you can start in October, but you're not doing it in July, August, and September. That means you would have to catch up on those classes and you would have to catch up on those payments as well, right? So you can start at any time, but you just have to catch up on the payments and also the classes to get you where you need to be. So that is where the book club is. I don't know if I'm missing anything, but if I am, I'm sure my sister will tell me. In the meantime, welcome lecture time so we can get going. TV time is very short, and I want to make sure that my sister Susanna can talk about what we're going to talk about. Do you guys know what we're going to talk about? Do you guys know? Okay, time to lecture. Really, it's more informational, right? It's really more informational for anybody and everybody who's used to having me up here and talk about the id, the ego, and the super ego. So, this is a lecture weekly. It's not all about ego and ed and super ego. It's just a lecture of different topics, right? So, let's talk about it. History. It's psychoanalytic. Sigmund and Freud actually is an Austrian neurologist, right? The ego and the id was written back in 1923, and Freud developed his theory in the early 20th century, with his major works being published from 1890s to 1930s. Now, his psychoanalytic theory was an attempt to explain behavior, motivation, and mental disorders by focusing on the unconscious factors that shape them. Remember, guys, when we talk about brain, okay, I don't do the study, somebody else did the scientific study. Can I do the study? I probably would. It's going to take me at least 5 years to really get deep. I've done studies already on culture and values for executive women, right? I did comparative analysis with actually don't do it. If you get a doctorate, don't do what I did. It was difficult. I don't know why I wanted difficult, but it was. And because I married the secondary data and a primary data, and it's very expensive to do primary data, right? Anyhow, he basically saying, hey, this is what I'm studying for the unconscious mind. Between 5 to 10% of our brain are only used on a daily basis. Some are lower, but most of it is subconscious, meaning you're not actively using those brain capacity, right? So he's actually studying the unconscious factors. What are they? So, introduction to psychoanalytic theory. So, brief overview, right? It's focused on the relevance to personality and behavior. Hold on, let me get my nerdy glasses on, guys, because I can't see very well. So, what is the objective? Well, explain why understanding these concepts is crucial for effective leadership and business. Why is it important to know, right? Why am I sharing it? It's because you need to know what the id, the ego, and the superego, right? The id, the source of our impulses. The id represents the basic instinctual drives and seeks immediate gratification. So think when you're going to the mall, ooh, Gucci, ooh, Versace, oh, Louis. That is your id. I want to buy it, even though you can't afford it. I want to buy it. Mortgage or Louis, right? That is your id talking. It operates on the base of your pleasure principle. Example in business, a leader driven by the id might push for rapid expansion without considering the risks, driven by the thrill of it's going to be successful, right? Personal, getting upset and mad at your friend without thinking of the consequences. Super impulsive. That is your id talking, right? That is your id. So think that. You think, oh, they're so egotistical and narcissistic. No, that's your id talking. The ego actually is your rational self. I know you're like CJ, you don't make sense. Listen, I didn't create the theory. I'm giving you what the theory of Sigmund and Freud said. The definition is the ego operates based on the reality principle, mediating between the id and the superego. And we're talking about superego in a minute. Now, the characteristics is balancing the conflicting demands of your id, your superego, and the external reality, right? When you're looking at perception becomes reality. If I think my friend thinks of this of me, then it must be it. No, that is your perception. You got to get perspective to balance that, right? So, an example in business is a CEO uses rational analysis to decide whether a new venture, creating your own business, expanding your own business, aligns with the company's capabilities and market conditions, balancing those risks and, of course, the reward that comes with that. Okay. Then we're going to go to superego. The definition holds internalized ideals and provides guidelines for making judgments. What does that mean, CJ? It means you strive for perfection. It's not for pleasure, it's not for, or reality. It's just perfection, right? So all of those, like, it's going to be perfect, it's going to be perfect. That is your superego talking. Example in business is a business leader resist lucrative opportunities that involve unethical practices because you're guided by your strong moral code. That is the difference between the three, believe it or not. Okay. Now, importance of balance. Effective leadership requires the ability to balance the demands between your id, your impulse. Neutrality is actually your ego, and super ego is your morality. Now, business scenario. Discuss a scenario where a leader successfully balances this aspect of navigating a complex business decision. Here's the thing: you can't have one and not the two. You can't have two and not the one. All three is part of you. What you got to do is find that balance. How do you find the balance of this? Be very self aware. Sometimes self awareness is also another word that ticks me off lately because people are talking, be self aware, do this, be mindful of this. But listen, are you mindful of your own self? Are you self aware of what words that comes out of your mouth versus your action? Right? Right? I'm pausing because I'm also trying to self reflect on what I'm saying. Your words means a lot to people, but it needs to get deeper, not just a surface level. Now, it represents a set of uncoordinated instinctual desires. Ego is the realistic part that mediates between the desire, let me buy the Louis instead of mortgage, and the id and the superego. Superego really reflects the internalization of cultural rules, mainly taught by our parents, applying their guidance and, of course, the influence. And sometimes that's the reason why we have so much trouble, is because if these three are not like this or not aligned, your super ego is like, here, my parents think I'm this and that, so therefore I gotta do this, right? And then your id also wants to go up and said, oh my God, I really gotta get this done. I think I'm gonna be happier. And your ego technically is down here and it's not up here, right? So when people are like, you're so egotistical, really? Do you know that ego is the neutral part of you, not the high of you? That's your id talking, by the way. Okay, so that's what I wanted to tell you. Conflict handling, explore how understanding these elements can help you resolve conflicts within the team and, of course, within your friendship. So check your id and check your super ego because your ego is your neutral, right? Enhancing self awareness and leadership, recognize impulses of id, make rational decisions with your ego, and engage in ethical and values driven decisions. So, practical tips, really, guys, for personal self awareness and, of course, reflection, right? To be self aware, it takes more than words. You need to reflect on what you're saying, record yourself, listen to what you're saying. Is this what I'm doing really showing my action? And then, of course, therapy and counseling, right? It helps. Being in therapy and counseling is literally just having your own board of directors to help you gain that extra tools that you need to not just survive anymore, but thrive. Practices like meditation and self hypnosis. I know it's kind of crazy, but I did go into not self hypnosis. I don't know how to do that yet. I might need to bring those strings to get me like focused because I got some squirrels on my head. It's gonna be like, oh, oh yeah, sure. Wait, what? What happened to the dog? Oh, the bird. Wait, Sister Susanna's calling. Wait, I'm hungry. Yeah, it's kind of hard to hypnotize me doing my own self, right? Someone has to help me do that. And of course, for business owner, consider technology and automation. And I'm not talking about ChatGPT writing your book. I know who you are, okay? I'm talking about streamlining your process. Define your clear boundaries. When your friends is hurting you and they're actually just crossing that boundary, it's time to say bye-bye and let go because you need to love yourself more and your sanity more. Delegate and empower your team so you don't have to be all alone doing everything. And then you complain, oh, I'm so tired of doing everything I can. Really? Did you delegate? Right? So have that trust that you can delegate your what responsibilities, right? And that's all. Thank you guys for listening. Are you guys ready for Susanna? Oh my god, I am perfect. Yes, yes. Okay, I'm gonna bring my sister in. Are you guys ready? Sister, where are you? I don't see you. Sister Susanna is there. She
Hello, I'm here.
what happened? Hello, sister. What a stranger. You're a stranger today, right? Hey, you
Oh,
know
okay.
what?
So while you've got all that, it's like I got sirens going all over the place around here, and I just watched four cops walk through the backyard.
You okay?
I went upstairs, brought down a bat.
Oh my god, you've been like live coming in from Oregon Susanna's apartment. Oh my lord. So my hair matches your dress right now. You should definitely bring that dress to San Diego because I'm gonna put you in this hair when you come.
Not a problem.
Yep. And you see this, guys? I saw this at Monster Palooza, and they were selling it for like 120 bucks. So me, myself, and creative self, when I get stressed, I go to Michael's and buy because I create so much. Like it's not funny. So I decided that I'm gonna make fancy schmancy like jewelry for our glasses because Danielle wears glasses, you wear glasses, and we're gonna match. The only difference is my nerdy self came out because I actually am hiding Mr. Yoda over here. See, I have little Yoda in there because I love him. Literally because he's like, do or do not. Simplify everything, right? So I love that. Let's talk about your book that you just published. You're officially a publisher of anthologies now. You're self-publishing your books, but now it is self-publishing anthologies. Talk to me how you're feeling from beginning to end.
It's exciting. I'm putting it together, working with all those authors that we had, uh, and herding cats. But once we get it together, we get it out, and it didn't take us long to get that international number one. And it was exciting as we just kind of keep our eyes open, see what's happening, and suddenly we're number one international best-selling authors with a book that with a book that really has more than just any anthology has. Because everybody's used to you get the anthology, it's got a theme, you slap it together, and you go after getting your number one bestseller, make a paperback, sell it on Amazon, and on to the next one. And it doesn't have that staying power. It doesn't have that call to for people to say there's more to it. So when you and I have these anthologies, and it's the same thing for Beyond Boundaries, it's not just the stories. It's a business application. It's a roadmap for people to move from where they're at to where they want to go. But especially, I love the business aspect. And that's something that you don't really see so much in a lot of these books. They just try to be inspirational, feel good. Somebody did it, so you can did it. But yes, Shiny, you really want to be able to have something else to it, and that's what we do. That's that difference from so many other anthologies is a business case in just about every one of those chapters.
Yeah, I made sure that this anthology like you said, it's pre prequel to literally Beyond Boundaries, right? And moving beyond boxes. And we're gonna start our anthology again soon, um, in August, and our book is gonna come out again in September, right?
Well, we're going to start next month.
Well, yeah, but we're not gonna
This
start writing until August.
the writing in
Yeah,
August. So it's like
yeah.
we'll start announcing it next month. The writing
Mhm.
in August and
Book
September.
out in September. Yeah, we do every
Oh,
3 months.
there it
But here's,
is.
sister, there's another thing other than the book club membership that we're doing. There's another thing that's happening with us is that, do you want to tell them?
Well, okay. There are so many different things.
No, the done for you part. Remember what we
Okay,
talked about? Okay.
so the anthologies, we have that ability to put anthologies together for other people. So if somebody's got an idea as to what they want to do for an anthology, we can work with them and we basically have that done for you. We take care of everything in the background. They're still the face of the anthology because it's their anthology, but we are there to support them to get their own anthology.
And for those of you who are Hounds of Business community, you guys are always close to near and dear to our heart. So it's always a pleasure of working with you guys. You might have like a special discount always. But the Done For You anthology really is because we want to help our community. It's going to cost you. Like, you can shop around. A lot of people will have anthologies out there. It seems like everyone's publishing nowadays, right? But what you really want, whether you go with us or not, is this is what we're going to tell you. Okay. First thing is editing. That's really important.
Oh,
Some
yes.
anthologies don't edit. We belong to anthology where I want to throw the book because I'm reading my part. I'm like, did you even care what I have to say? Your freaking name is on there as a publisher. You didn't care, right? So I've had that anthology. I'm like, ugh. The second anthology that we belong is too short of a time to really dig deep. It's a
Mhm.
lot of pressure, so mistakes happen when it's too short of a time.
Yep.
The third anthology that we did is good. I think because we put it together, we edited it and put it out there. What we have learned is that we're not afraid to give money and give back to other communities who's doing anthologies. Don't get us wrong.
Mhm.
Because what we're doing is we're seeing differences of how you're taken care of. It's like you can buy a t-shirt at Target, at Walmart, at Amazon, at Louis Vuitton, at Hermes, right? And at Nordstrom. Like, it really just depends. But you ask yourself as a consumer, why would you choose a branded luxury item versus something you can use at Walmart? There's no point. You can just go to Walmart, buy your shirt, and be done with it. I would go to Walmart, right? Sometimes you want to feel special. It's not necessarily for anybody else or vanity or anything. You want to feel special. What is it for me? That benefit, that belonging. And that's what we wanted to create with our anthologies. And we already have an in-house marketing. We don't have nothing else to prove because we've already done it. What really want we want is for you guys to feel supported from beginning to end. And just because the book ended as a project doesn't mean our relationship still ends. You can still come up to Level Up and really provide our community of what you're doing within the community, right? We welcome it. We have publishers with us and anything. So what we're doing, Susanna and I, is if you're gonna do a single book, literally, like, marketing is between 5 to 10 grand, right? Depending on which marketing that you're gonna do. You're gonna do editing, maybe $10 to $15,000, depending on the pages, right? And I'm talking good editing, not just like, oh, this is how much per page. No, we're not doing that. And then some people who publish the book thinks that they can really do editing, and they can't, to be honest with you. Okay. Another thing is, when you're working with someone, you want someone to really take care of you from beginning to end. Why do you love Amazon? A, the shipping is quick, and their customer service is the bomb. You have a return, you go to the return, be done with it, and get your refund. You want that, right? You want the customer service to be the journey from beginning to end, not just the buying. When you buy cheap stuff, you're going to have cheap quality. That's just how it works. That's human nature, right? For us, just because we're affordable does not mean it's low quality, because what we are is soul-hearted. We're beyond heart-centered. People are now all heart-centered, and I see them and their actions are not heart. We're not. We're beyond that. We're soul-hearted, right? Now, sister, walk us through, because you literally have your own book, you had your own agent. Let's talk about that, right? For your solo book, and then you self-publish your own book, and then you belong to a different anthology. Now you are a publisher, right? So walk through us the different places that you see lessons learned and what we can provide for those who are thinking, I want to do an anthology, but I can't afford it. You can go to book club. I want to do an anthology for this topic. I don't want your topic. I want this topic. What are some of the things that you can advise them on?
So, looking at it, a specific topic, one, you want to make sure that you understand why they want to do it. There has to be a good reason for it, and not just because it sounds good, not just because they want to. What's the purpose? What's the drive? What is it that your soul, that your heart is telling you this is why you need to have a book or an anthology on this topic? That's what we've done with every one of our books. We have a purpose and we move forward with it. Then there's going to be getting the authors, because you have to have a certain amount of authors to be able to do these anthologies. And especially that's the way we're looking at it. We're looking at minimum and maximum numbers for what we can do, because when it comes to our books, you and I are the ones that are doing the editing. We are working in tandem, and we do more than what I've seen in editors in in both the anthologies that we've been in that were run by others, and even in the traditionally published book, because we don't just go through and look at the spelling. We don't just throw it into Grammarly and then say, here you go. I am not a Grammarly fan. But then again, everybody's a little bit different. But for me, especially with Grammarly, it does not always understand what we're writing. So it has it's created to a certain level, and it ain't necessarily what you're trying to put out there in your story, because a story has to be soul-hearted. So you're gonna editing is gonna be there, having that writing, and we walk you through the writing. So it's not just editing. We give ideas. Everything has to stay in the author's voice. We don't want our voice on somebody else's work. It has to be theirs. But we'll give ideas. We'll give a little bit of rewrites, and we'll give, in many ways, many classes in our edits for authors. How many times have we seen, we've read the first one, we gave them suggestions, ideas, thoughts, and what came back sometimes it's totally different, and it's so freaking amazing what they did. And how many of our authors have basically turned around and said, I'm ready for the next one. They're ready to write. They've been bit by the writing bug. Either because they're ready for another anthology, or they're ready to do their own book. And we know how to walk them through both options.
Mm-hmm.
Because of self-publishing my own books, that's one thing. Being able to get those edited, having it traditionally published, working with anthologies, that means working with other publishers and teams. and then working on our books. That is us working together on both the story ideas, the editing, and putting the whole thing together and carrying. We basically carry our authors to the where they need to go and help them be as successful as we can.
Yeah. And that's one thing I love about when people, when people try to do anthologies, right? It doesn't matter if it's us or somebody else. What you guys have to look for, because this is your time, even if it's a free anthology, it's your time that
Mhm.
you're putting in. You want to make sure that your brand as an individual, whether you own a business or you work for somebody else, that is your brand. That's called reputation and credibility. Who you run around with, who you hang around yourself with, becomes you. Okay. So if your level of, oh, I don't know, sorry, my husband's talking a lot. If your level of excellence is right here, and you're hanging around with people who are right here, you technically level down. You're not leveling up, right? And oh, I feel bad, or I'm just doing this because of this. Stop giving yourself an excuse. Really look at yourself in the mirror. What do you want? Forget about what other people think. Not even us, not anybody, not even your family. Maybe your dog or your cat. Just think about them, okay? Like they have opinions too. But not even them. Think about what you really want to do, right? And what kind of support that you want, because who you hang around with reflects on who you are. And sometimes people who are neutral drives me nuts, drives me to the grave, right? Because you might not be aware, but you're actually not neutral. You're actually taking a campsite, right? And again, I don't care where you're going with it. What I care is think about the hard work, the amount of time, the amount of effort that you actually work on yourself for your credibility. And it takes only one split second or one hangout with somebody else in whatever to get your excellence lowered down. Always level up, even if it's tiny little bits, it's okay, but never level yourself down, right? So when you're looking for anthologies, look for somebody who has done it, but also done it in the right way. Now, let's talk about right and wrong way. The right way is literally caring for you beyond the project. The right way is having your. What's the point of having an anthology if no one knows your anthology? It's literally just stuck in some place, right? You want to continue that. If you have a book right now, whether it's your own published book or an anthology, go shout it out to your neighbor. Go to the library. Go ask your local bookstore and said, "Hey, I have a book. Can I do some book signing here?" Right? It's summer now. You can go out and ask this market. Like some of us have here in Tuesday where I live in my city, we have a market every Sunday and every Tuesday. I could get a booth for like $20 and really shout out my book. Do that for you. Be your own advocate. Don't wait for somebody else to highlight you. Take charge of your own destiny, right? But be careful who you align yourself with. You think you're neutral, but you're not. Sister, let's talk about what is going to be in our book club. What kind of classes are you thinking of putting in?
Okay, before I do that, there's one more thing that's really important when it comes to these anthologies, because each anthology is different. Don't go in thinking that you're going to recycle something you've already written and published. This is a big issue and a big no-no, because number one, you have to cite that it's already been published. Number two, it's not fair to the previous publisher where you've already published to use that material in a future project. And it's also not fair to that future project to use something you've already written, because their job is to take what you write for that project, not for something else, for that project. And it's their job to edit and work with you to make that the best that you can have for that project. So we'll start with that. It's like it has to be separate, because there's also plagiarism rules that come into play.
So I'm
And
going to
that,
talk about that, copyright
yeah,
and intellectual property. So um, I teach business law. I don't have a law degree, but I teach business law, and you have to have a basic law concept when you take business plan. I teach social media marketing. I teach all that. But in business law, intellectual property, as soon as you actually write something, whether it's published or not published, and you guys can look it up in articles, that's your intellectual property and copyright, right? When you actually publish it, that becomes public domain for some people, but it isn't, because you actually use that for your own copyright and intellectual property. Now, here's the thing, too. After you die, okay, after you die, 70 years, you have 70 years that you and your family can still have, okay, can still have say on your work. After 70 years, then become its public domain. The difference between that public domain means anyone can use it, whether it's on TikTok or Instagram, if we still have TikTok by then they can use it with no repercussions. But the day you're still alive and the day you die, after the day you die, right, you still have 70 years of that intellectual property rights. Now, when it comes to APA 7th manual, okay, that is the American Psychological, basically that's everything about APA, right? That's what we do in business, is we write an APA. You have to cite properly. I'll give you the link if you need it. You need to cite properly where you got that. And you're like, CJ, I didn't really rewrite, I didn't really copy it, all of it. It's just the thought that I kind of changed in there. Guys, it doesn't matter. If it's not an original thought, if it's a summary of your thought, but you already use it, that is plagiarism. It's called self plagiarism. Okay, I'm telling you right now, I get my students in trouble all the time, right? The first time, you're not in trouble in my class because you didn't know, but I'm going to give you the link. And if you do it again, we're going to have an issue and a conversation. You in business as well do not know that. It's okay. You do know now. Okay. You need to make sure you don't self plagiarize. It's not copied word for word. You're right, but it's still copied thoughts. It's still plagiarism, self plagiarism. Okay. So thank you for bringing that up, sister. I do want to shout out to Mike. Mike was like, "Hey, your mic is coming in and out." I just forgot that I had my roadcaster in, so I probably sounded like I was under the ocean. Thank you for looking out, bro. Let me tell you, Hounds of Business community, I love you, bro. We have a podcast circuit meeting for Hounds of Business tomorrow at 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. PST. By the way, so I just want to do that. Any additional conversation, sister, from what I was talking about?
well, yeah, I think we've done enough with the self plagiarism,
Yep.
because it had to be there. And then you were asking about classes
Yeah.
for the book club, and there's many different things to go in there, because there's so many different aspects of storytelling. And actually, we've got people that they need work on punctuation. I mean, we got to have some stuff that you may think it's going back to the basics, but there's some people that they need to go back to the basics and understand how to write. But the other thing that we've talked about is, by going through the book club and the different types of classes, stories, how to write a story, how to think about what you want to write, and how to pick and choose. By the time you get through those 10 months, you will essentially have your chapter for an anthology.
Yeah, right. So this is another way for us to commit. Sometimes writing might not be something that you like, but you would love to write. You just like, I don't know how to write. I don't know grammar. I don't know spell. It's okay. English is my seventh language. It's fine. We got you, right? No, I'm not kidding. But here's the thing. Your attitude makes a big difference on how people help you. When you have a bad attitude, when you start demanding, when you start telling, no one's going to help you. Certainly not us. Certainly not us. It's either you get a cold, silent treatment and bye, boy, see ya later, or you get a what the are you thinking, right? Most of the time, I'm not as spicy as I am used to. I just give you a silent treatment because I'm done because I don't really want that energy. Besides, I don't want wrinkles. I'm getting in that age where I'm like worried about wrinkles. So I don't care. I don't care what you have to say or what you think or if you want to demand. You're just gonna have nothing, no messages for me because I don't want to engage in that negative energy, right? But then that's when self reflection and self awareness kicks in. Like, why is CJ not responding? What the heck? And I'm always responding to everybody, right? So if I don't respond to you within 24 hours, that means A, I didn't see your message, or B, I didn't care for your message. So I didn't respond because I didn't want to engage, right? Self reflection, guys. I'm just saying. Now, classes, I'm going to teach you, at least on my end, not just writing technical stuff like Susanna is really amazing. That's her zone of genius, right? But I have a knack for giving you a title, right? Title on your anthology. Like you tell me, just tell me like in two sentences, this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, ooh, tell me more. And then somehow my brain just knows your title. You can take it, leave it, whatever. I don't consider that intellectual property. You can have the title. And the reason for that is because my brain is structured that way, right? So that's when we do. Another thing in our book club is I'm going to teach you, okay? I know it's like book club, Canva. I'm going to teach you marketing. And when I tell you marketing and and awareness is I'm going to walk you through the magic of Canva. I'm going to teach you how to market yourself in Canva. In fact, I might even add you to my pro account where you have zero to pay on pro account Canva. Okay? That's part of my book club and that's part of my commitment is to teach you the nitty-gritty of the technical aspects even if you're non-technical. I guarantee you will learn, right? And then of course that's some of our classes that I'm putting in. If you are doing some live streaming, there's so much noise on live streaming now, right? There's a good way and a right way and an intro and outro. If you want to take that class with me plus LinkedIn Live, you let me know. I'll open up that class in September. But that's a different class altogether. That's not part of the book club. I am. I don't have my other calendar, but mid June. I'm in Las Vegas, so that might not work. Hold on one second. Not June, July, I guess, on my birthday month. Like mid July, I'm going to be giving a brand awareness class for free for the public because I want you guys to know what brand awareness means in terms of marketing, right? So it's like a lecture, but it's not live. It's going to be on Zoom. You got to register because I want it to be more private. The people who really wants to learn about brand awareness is going to learn about brand awareness at that moment. And then I'll have a giveaway at the end as well on what it's like to do brand awareness with me. So Sana, talking about brand awareness, we are actually ending this conversation soon. I want you to tell them what brand awareness means to you since you have worked with me.
Brand awareness is visibility in so many ways and recognition. The to know when you see somebody and in your case you say level up, people know what you're talking about. They know what level up is. If they see me, it's move beyond boxes and shine. What what it means to move from those places that you're stuck to being your authentic self. So that awareness is what what are people doing, saying, thinking about the brand, and what is it, how does it make you feel when you see that brand, when you hear that brand? How does it make you feel? If you hear somebody say, I'm going to go listen to Dr. Leland talk about leveling up on this topic, and a lot of people are just going to sit back and go, okay, I'm there. I didn't know that was happening. I'm ready to go because they know what to expect. They know it's going to be amazing. That's all part of that awareness. That's understanding what that brand brings to the table.
Mike's like, better now. Who is global media? Global media. Who are you? Mike is asking. Mike is the Hound CEO, okay? You need to answer. That's all I'm gonna tell you right now. But yes, thank you guys so much for being here and supporting us. I always will have Sunday lecture. If you have specific things that you're asking, I have so many classes that universities, most students will pay between $5,000 to $10,000. About a 5 week program, sometimes a 10 week program, sometimes a 16 week program. I'm going to be doing more classes that I have done, which is managing your boss, that I actually put down a little bit. But that was my first class ever on LinkedIn, and that was so successful globally. I'm going to do that. I'm going to teach you guys critical thinking, analysis, also communication skills, nonverbal, verbal, and silent treatment is non. Did you know that every day we have 250,000 ways that we communicate? I was like, 250,000 after 10, I just lost my mind. You know what I mean? Like, who made this study and sit there and count? They don't have ADHD for sure. Because after 10, I'm like, wait, what's the bird doing? Oh, Cheerio needs to go. Sister, hold on 1 second. I'm going to the bathroom. Hold on. Like, I would never count, but somebody is patient enough to count that we do have 250,000 types of communication that we communicate on a daily basis. So I'm going to teach you those. And you're probably saying, CJ, how would I trust what you're teaching me? Because there's so much noise in here. I don't think that any of my students would tell you not to listen. That's all I'm going to say. I If I don't know it, I shut the F up, because I would never give you wrong information. I research the heck out of what I say before I say it, because I understand that some people will claim they have studied it, they know what it is, they have experienced something that they don't know what it is. It drives me insane. But then I'm not worried about other people. I'm only worried about you and me and our relationship. So that's why, if you are still here, you're listening in your team replay, thank you for your time. But my commitment to level up the world through education is always going to be with my sisters and brothers out there. So you guys have a wonderful evening. Right, sister?
Exactly.
Yeah, see us in June 29th in San Diego. And our Moving Beyond Boxes paperback is coming out in 2
Weeks.
weeks. Bye. Peace, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.